Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome back once again to another episode of the Summer Spotlight 2020. I am your host, Gayle Nicholson. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's really good to see you. If you have the opportunity, please give us some likes, give us some hearts, make a comment so I know who you are out there. Often I see, you've got two followers or two viewers or whatever, and I just don't know who's out there. So please make a comment. Let us know that you're hanging out with us this morning. Awesome. Thank you so much. And if you're watching from YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We've got tons of amazing stuff to deliver to you. Now, today's guest, this is an interesting one because in the course of meeting and getting to know him a little bit better, it's very strange how much we actually have in common. Down to the idea of my formal company name is G2 Consultants, and this gentleman's formal business name is G2 Internet Solutions. And we're doing much similar things. So I really want to tell you all about all of the things that he's doing that I'm not doing, because between the two of us, your marketing concerns can be handled very easily. So let me introduce you to, please, Mr. Greg Goshorn. He's a marketing strategist over at onlinelocalvideo.com, which is actually fairly local to me in Phoenix. So thank you so much for being with me today, Greg. How are you?
Oh, we are good, and thank you so much for having us. We're so happy to be here and truly appreciate the opportunity.
Awesome, awesome stuff. So you're over on the other side of the valley from me, right? I'm in the Western Valley in Goodyear. You're near Scottsdale someplace?
Well, it's going to be a little trick here because we were in Tempe for years and years, but have recently relocated to the beautiful hills of northern Kentucky.
Oh,
But our heart and a lot of our clients and our friends and family is in the valley, and I was born at Phoenix General, so
there you
it's
go.
named.
He's a hometown boy, trust me. Even if he's got grass now,
Yeah,
bluegrass at that. Yeah, he's a hometown boy. Awesome. So, I really love what you've got going there, and I know that there are a number of ways that you and I are on similar paths, right? So, why don't you tell me a little bit about what your company does for companies and corporations around the country, um, as far as video and online marketing and strategies? How'd you get that?
absolutely. Yeah. So, long time techie, geek, nerd, whatever they call us now. Had an MIS degree from University of Arizona, and had a entrepreneurial business helping um, thousands of customers with hardware and software and training. So about kind of the heart of a teacher. And then we found this thing called the internet in 1994, and just took right to it. And so we've had a boutique internet solutions company for quite a long time, and we love it because there's always new things to learn, tactics, right? But
Mm-hmm.
there's timeless strategies. And I said all that to say this is right now we're focused in on the top internet forces of traffic, video, and five-star reviews because they're undeniable forces on the internet today. So we think people should make the highest and best use of their time and their money and their efforts.
Excellent, excellent. So how do you do that? And I don't necessarily want to get into the nuts and bolts of what's your secret. How do your recipe? But what are your strategies for putting those at the top and helping companies make sure that they maintain the highest possibilities in those areas?
Okay, great. Yeah, so we do those because they're 90th percentile things, right?
Mm-hmm.
90% of people look at reviews before they buy something. 90% of the people watch the video. So the foundational thing is get started. Start doing something. If we start with reviews, go out and make sure that you have, the big one in the world, Google. Get Google My Business, right? Make sure you claim your directory there. Start asking for reviews there. Then start building out to the other important high authority directories, and the social sites are some of the top things. Make sure on Facebook, Yelp, some of the big boys like that, and gather real reviews. Ask your customers and respond to every review is probably one of the first fundamental steps people should be doing. Positive
That's a
and
really good
negative.
little bit of gold there, because I notice that people tend not to. A couple of phenomenons that I notice on Facebook. You've got the very young fledgling entrepreneur that makes a post, and you support them by sharing it, and then they're the first comment that comes in and says, "Thanks for sharing," and that's great. But I wonder if it doesn't kind of stomp on other engagement down the line. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, in it absolutely reply, like not just a like or a thing. Comment. One of my recommendations, again, another kind of a technique or a tip, is reply, but ask a question in the reply. And so that kind of will spark the conversation to proceed.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Um, Now, this is a simple question, but it's almost deceptively so simple, because you and I know the value of being online, right? But there's so many businesses that up to this point have been just totally brick and mortar. They don't even have a website, and they seem to have been doing just fine. Um, Pandemic aside, they probably would still be going along the way that they were, unless they knew the value of being online. So, what is that? What is that? What online offers that you can't experience in your business if you're not online?
Wow, truly a fact. I mean, being in the business, we know that a website's easy to make, and so we don't think it means that much. But in the context of the real world and the mass market, having a website legitimizes you. It makes you a real business. And frankly, the internet is the first place that people go when they get a recommendation. You get a neighbor, a friend, somebody tells you about a place. The first thing you're going to go do is check them out online. Well, that business is doing itself a gigantic disservice if it doesn't at least have some presence to be an old word, findable on the internet.
Nice, nice. That's very true. Now, is it necessarily necessary these days to have a full-fledged website?
Well, we think so. I mean,
Okay.
the internet is a big place. An online presence encompasses a lot of things, a website is one. A verified Google My Business listing. We think you should, have an email list. We think you should, have some at least minimum presence
Hmm.
on social media, because meet the people where they are. If you
Right.
want to have the maximum thing, then do a little bit of everything. The other thing, to answer the question about a website,
Hmm.
is that it's really the only one place where you have total control. Social media sites come and go, Google's rules change, and so your website can be a place that you can totally control.
Right, right. And that's a really, really good point, especially with what we see with, this year on Facebook, where they're really trying to control the experience and being a happier one, I assume, by controlling the content of people's posts, and, removing posts and stuff like that. I'm not trying to align with it or disagree with it. I'm just saying they're trying to direct how things are going. So that makes it difficult to trust that what you're putting out there is going to be seen by the people you expect it to be seen by, just because of the algorithms and stuff. You can't. I was talking with somebody else recently who went through a little bit of a battle with Facebook, and they had all of their ability to do any kind of expansion or outreach completely shut down. So they've had to actually deal with the question, what do you do if your entire business is on one social media platform and that social media platform won't play with you anymore?
And thus the problem. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, diversification. Even the big ones, have come and gone. We don't know who will be after these, but probably in some form or fashion, there will be something else in the future.
Right.
And again, something outside of your control. Now, we want to leverage them, we want to utilize them, but we can't be dependent on them.
Exactly. So of the ones that, well, across the board, so to speak. I mean, we've got the big players. We got Facebook, we got Twitter, we got Instagram, we got Pinterest, we got LinkedIn, we got Twitter. I think I already mentioned Twitter. All right. So there's like 5 or 6 that are the big guys right now, right? And then you've got your own website, right? Um, where would a company be best served to focus? I mean, do you scattershot to 7 different platforms, or do you, focus on where you think your clients are?
Yeah, well, it's better always know your client for sure,
Mm-hmm.
and we would focus on where they are. So I'm going to answer this in 3 probably steps here.
Okay.
Um, One, best practice, claim your name at all the sites, right? So if you're XYZ widget company, get that name on all the sites, even if you don't use it,
Mm-hmm.
in case you might grow to it.
And
Second,
I
focus
just want to
on
interject with that. And also .tv. You don't know where you're
oh,
going to be going someday. Grab
indeed,
.tv as well. Please continue.
indeed. And so the part 2 of that would be to, you know, see where your people are, and you can see that by age groups or demographics or watching your analytics, and then focus your efforts there. We're a big fan of the Pareto principle, right? The 80-20 rule. So
Mm-hmm.
find out where the majority of them are. And we're also a big fan of making the most of our time, use, and money, and getting leverage. And so one thing that's going to play well across all of these is video. The video, Google owns YouTube. They're always looking for video results. Arguably the second or the third largest search engine on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can create and optimize a single video, you can utilize it on your website, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and kind of fire on all cylinders. And these things are great. Video, we love it too because you make it once and it keeps working for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that is one thing that I really love about what I'm doing right now is that we create something and then we chop it into little pieces and spread it everywhere.
Yeah, oh, that what a great point, right? Because each platform has its own optimum thing, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
might, we might this whole you know interview might be in one lump sum on YouTube, but it could be, converted, you know, uh, transcribed into a written blog. You can take little snippets out of it. You can take tips and put them at all of the other places. Another way to leverage it.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very smart. I love it, Gayle.
Awesome stuff. So yeah, that's a really good place to start is where are your clients, right? And where are you the most comfortable with the format? Because for me, for example, at one point, if I'm not mistaken, Twitter had a 1 minute limit for videos, right? So sometimes there are times when you have to actually go in and remanipulate things, the settings. You know, Pinterest has a different dimension for their pictures, and you want to make sure that everything is coming across on the platform that it's coming across on, the way that it's going to look best, right?
So smart, so smart. Yes, optimize it for each one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that we do over here in being a digital marketing partner, in addition to the videos and the reputation and the traffic, is we have a part where we make custom social covers. And so, to speak to what
Nice.
you were saying, is that each platform has its own sizes. Well, each platform has its own size for what we would call the social cover, meaning the big picture, right? Like not
Mm-hmm.
your picture, but the big image that's on the page, and it's
Yep.
a billboard. And so we can help people. We make matching, branded, professional looking designs that go across all of the platforms. Matter of
Awesome.
fact, during this time, we are even donating a free cover to some businesses that um, need help, or they need to share messaging. Like, are you doing delivery? Are you open? Do you have special hours? Right?
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. And when we were chatting last week about this, I mean, I got to tell you, I was like, oh my gosh. It was like Christmas morning. There was this whole new possibility that I hadn't even recognized before because, like, even on Facebook, like you were telling me, that banner ad that you're right, almost nobody uses, right? Almost nobody uses it. Is just this billboard up there that's ripe for the using, for one thing, and I didn't know this until I talked to you. It will accommodate video up there. So it since between the last time you and I talked and now I've been checking out people's like business pages on Facebook. In the entire time since the last time you and I've talked, I've seen one person that uses video in that space.
Right? Look at
One
that.
person.
It's there for the taking.
Yeah.
You know,
And like
we
nobody
actually,
knows.
yeah, we make one that kind of blends these two things.
Mm-hmm.
We could take a review video, like take an existing 5-star review for your company,
Mm-hmm.
and put it with a spokesmodel in a background and a call to action, and size it. Again, it's not a standard video size, right?
Right?
And you can use that as your Facebook cover.
Yeah, yeah. So there really is so many possibilities and so many um, opportunities really right now with doing video content marketing and for you and I for assisting people that their skill and expertise is an entirely different area than the IT geekness. But I'm starting to figure out how the geeks will inherit the earth. I think I've got a line on that now.
I love it. I love it.
So let me ask you a little bit more about this because this is also getting into the 5-star review part of it, right? Reputation management on social media. Now, let me preface this with a little bit of a kind of funny story. Yesterday, I put out a post. I've had a disappointment in my life, and I declared a breakdown. Yeah, that's not working. All right, shift gears. What will work? How can I make this all work for me? And I started it out. I declare a breakdown. God bless my brother and his divinely inspired wife. They're very loving and very caring people, and they called me from Canada to find out if I was doing okay and if there was anything that they could do to help.
Wow.
Because they read it as, I'm having a breakdown. Okay, so that's a really good example of how easily something that you put out there for your business can be misread and misconstrued, and people make assumptions based on that. All right, now, and that's some of the lighter stuff. What about when you really do a big screw up, right? And it goes out there into the work, into the internet, and you've got to get your dignity back in the online space. You've got to clean up that mess that was created. What does your company do to assist in reputation management?
Okay, awesome. Great question. And you're blessed to have such family that reached out to you like
I
that. I
know.
love that story. Um, And so, yeah, reputation it is an undeniable force. I mean, it's again, 92% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses. Um, the people read the good and the bad. So um, we help people. Actually, we got three kind of foundations to our reputation solution,
Okay.
and we call it's a little bit more than just the reputation management. Of course, that's our first step is management, meaning you gotta get a handle on. You got to get your directory listings. You got to monitor and see the reviews, that
Mm-hmm.
that are happening out there. You don't want to be the roofer who has a big slump this week, but he didn't know that somebody went out and posted a bad review that all the other people were looking at, right?
Right.
So the management is really only phase one of our solution. The second place is building. We have a very mature, proven way to get real reviews from your customers, and so you need to have a constant flow of new reviews. There's a people want to see so many, so you want to keep growing the volume, but you also want people only trust reviews in a certain time period. I don't know what that is, if they're 6 months old, if they're 3 months old, right?
Yeah, I
So
think that would depend on the product, you know?
it does absolutely, but recent reviews are good.
Yeah,
What have
that
you
makes
done
sense.
for me lately, right?
Right.
And then the third thing is when it becomes an asset to the company, right? Because these reviews are out there. They're on all the sites. They're showing up, um, and they're working for you. People are finding them. So the third part is marketing them. So we say we do reputation marketing. We
Nice.
leverage all the good work you did, all the good stuff that people said, and then we turn those into images and we put them on the website and we put them on social media. We turn them in those videos, like we
Mm-hmm.
can format them for the Facebook cover, but we can also just make them be a video and then get them out there, and you can put those again on all those different sites.
Mm-hmm.
You can optimize them, and they'll start to rank and be found. I mean, Google's going to help people find your reviews. I mean, if you've ever typed in a Google search, right, and it'll start to autofill for you, right? So it'd be
Right.
like, company name, and Google say space reviews, and you can just hit enter, right? And then these videos and your other reviews on these sites that you've built because you did the good work and you got the
Mm-hmm.
reviews, they start being that overabundance of social proof, right? So
Right.
we want our customers, our clients, our champions, right,
Mm-hmm.
to be the obvious choice when people are looking for a solution.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. That makes an awful lot of sense. Um, I do want to, like, kind of an add on question, I do want to ask you, um, what do you think of funny reviews? I mean, I'm sure you've heard stories of them or maybe even seen them, got directed to them on Facebook where, there's a product up there on Amazon or something like that. And then in the reviews, people just make the funniest comments or this story about how, they use this lemon juice to save the world or whatever. What about stuff like that? What are your thoughts on the double edged sword of what that can do to a company?
Well, I'm a fan of reviews. I think I love when people, turn them around. The place has a chalkboard in front of the restaurant. You know,
Mm-hmm.
come get the worst French onion soup ever, right? And I love when they spin them like that
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to happen in the world, and how you react to it really shows to the world how your business handles its business.
Mm-hmm.
Some people say, I don't want to get reviews. What if I get a bad one? Like, well, first of all, nobody gets them all right every time. I mean, that's the way of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Some things go wrong. So it's a it's an opportunity, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's not just, people aren't just watching to see that you're going to give them what they're buying, right? They're not, they expect that, right? they're also looking to see that somebody else that you sold to walked away with joy. Or if they didn't walk away with joy, how did you respond to that person? With humor and dignity? Or, like they, weren't good enough
Yeah.
to have ever walked into your place in the first place? And
Yeah.
other people are watching how you respond to these things. I've got a couple of friends that do coaching in the online space, and their niches have them in a persona that's very sexy, a little bit dominatrix, a little bit out there. So of course, they get the scraggly ones that just want a little bit of attention and say quite inappropriate things. And how these ladies deal with these people becomes their calling card, and across the board, right? That becomes their calling card, and you're either going to have the people that go, yeah, she really beat the crap out of him, yay her, or God, she was really gentle with him even though he was such a jerk. I want to be more like that, So, what is your best advice for when a company gets a bad review and how to respond to that and do that reputation marketing?
Yeah. You said some of the words: be polite, be professional. Um, and it's not that the customer's always right, but you can always say things like, it's not up to our standard. It's not how we would have had it. Um, Certainly it would be great to, get them to kind of like bring it offline per se. You don't want to have your whole dialogue, in a response thread.
Yeah.
But, own up to it, offer to make it right. Sometimes it's, dear customer, we checked all our records and, we don't see you anywhere. um, and so mostly you're responding more to all the people who are reading your response than you are to that one person, right?
Yeah.
Just like you said, people are going to see how you handle things. And so it depends on the situation, but honesty, straightforwardness, acceptance, willingness to make it right, fact finding, offering. You don't have to. Don't give up your position. Don't give up your honor, right? But
Right.
there's an opportunity, and many times, I don't want to say many times, a good percentage of the time, if something went wrong, it's often fixable. And when you do, they come back and change the stars or make another post and say, oh, something got mishandled and the owner, the business stepped up and they did great. I recommend.
Yeah. Yeah. And that you gold stars to anybody who can turn a negative review into, a resolved complaint with, an increased star rating or acknowledgement of, yeah, they came back and they fixed it. Good on them. That's huge. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, I mean, things happen, and if it's fixable, that's great. And if it's not, don't be a jerk. And say we're sorry. The thing's gone wrong. It's not our standard either. We hope you'll give us another chance.
Awesome. Well, to begin on that pathway for our audience today, you're offering something that I think is pretty darn valuable, actually, and that is a free reputation report. If our viewers go to onlinelocalvideo.com/free reputation report, what are they going to get?
Oh my gosh, thank you. And we'd love to extend that offer. And so what this is a report. We call it a reputation report, a reputation SEO report, because it's going to go out and scan the internet, and it's going to show you the directories where you're listed. If the listing is correct, it's going to show you how many reviews you have, recent reviews, negative reviews, videos that are out there. It's going to give you a letter grade, like remember school, like A, B, C, D,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's pretty comprehensive, and it's going to give you a snapshot of how a customer sees you, right? How the internet sees your business, and what we want is we want that to reflect, how good your business is. And so, first step is knowledge, and we're giving this report to everybody who's here.
Awesome. Awesome stuff. So thank you for that very much. And I do encourage people to go ahead and go check out Online Local Video. Go check out Greg, because he's got so much more available for you than even I do, but he doesn't have one thing, and that's me. So, Greg, do you have any final words for our audience today? Anything that you would like to leave them with on this wonderful Wednesday here in the Valley?
Well, I would say this. I would say, get started. Get started on building and growing your reviews. Respond to everyone is a great first step if you already have some. Get started making videos. Start building that library. Set up a YouTube channel. Nothing's going to be perfect in the beginning, and you're just building a library, but get started and start building content.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you again so much for being with me today, Greg. It was a pleasure talking to you. You have a great day.
Thank you. Pleasure's all mine. Appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. When you open yourself up to actual energy work, makes that recovery progress so much faster. That recovery is possible. You do not have to live as a victim until your last days. You have unbelievable strength, and I know that because you're still here. Do you want to create something completely unrecognizable with your life? I can show you